Hello. I could eat about 1.5 million of these.
Well, nobody's perfect.
Welcome to the It's a Drama podcast.
Daddy, I love him.
My mother thanks you.
If you can't say something nice.
All right, Mr. DeMille, I'm ready for my close-up.
Hello and welcome to the It's a Drama podcast. I'm Liz and today I've got Brian with me. Brian, my husband. Just to fill you in a little bit, it's Sonny's birthday today. Oh, it's Sonny's birthday and he's 19. I know, 19. And I couldn't bear asking him on his birthday to sit and do a podcast with his mum. So he's gone out with his friends. And actually, do you know, I was thinking about this before, Brian. Last week or whenever it was, we did a podcast about raising kids in New Zealand. And that cheeky little sod sat on that podcast and said to me, "Oh, you never let me go to the cinema." And he's just phoned me. He's gone out with his friends to the cinema and he's just phoned me and said they won't let us in because we haven't got the right. One of his friends is under 16, is 16, and they're trying to see a 16 film or whatever.
Yeah,
and
16.
Yeah, and it just made me laugh because I just thought, there you go. So if you haven't heard that podcast, just go back to it. And just listen to me being made to sound like the most terrible mother who wouldn't let her kids do anything. Anyway, so we've got you with us, Brian.
Yep. And I'm just eating a bit of Tessa's birthday cake from
last week.
10 days ago, 11 days ago.
So it's Sonny's birthday, and we thought, as a little celebration, because we're little two fat hogs, we just thought we'd sit here with our coffee, and we've got some chocolate cake, and I've even lit a candle. I'm going to take a picture and show it to you. And we just thought, no kids are here, and we're just going to sit down and just have a chat. And what we're going to talk about is moving to New Zealand, because it's the hot topic, isn't it, at the moment?
Well, yeah, New Zealand's in the news. We're COVID-free, apparently, even though we did have two cases come in from on the plane. So it's not originated from here in New Zealand. So I think we've got 4 cases in New Zealand at the moment, which is just unreal.
Everyone wants to move to New Zealand now.
Yeah.
They're just like...
We were ahead of the game, Les.
We were. We're 10 years early.
11 years early. For the first time in our life, we never missed the boat.
We did something right.
we got the plane instead.
No, so, we've had so many people say to us, "Oh, you're in the right place, we want to move to New Zealand." And this isn't a plug. Well, it is, obviously. But I'm in the middle of I'm not in the middle. I'm just starting to do a course on New Zealand for that exact reason, because so many people have said to me, "Look, how did you do it? What's it like? What are the downsides, pros and cons, all the rest of it? What's school like?" And so I'm making this little package where I'm interviewing people who have made that move, come over, they've been here for a few years, and just what it's like. So that's a little bit of a plug, but that's not ready yet, so don't get too excited. But so we just thought we'd sit here and talk about if you are going to move to New Zealand. Oh, Brian, shut that door, it's banging.
I know.
Sonny,
what I was going to say, with people that you meet who have moved to New Zealand, tend to be, number one, tends to be English. There's quite a few Americans, as in USA. And
what do you mean, as in USA? What does that mean?
Well, United States of America, not South America.
Why did you say Americans and then...
Well, you could say Americans, and that could include the South Americans.
Oh,
so
right.
that's why,
Oh, I thought you said American. I thought when you describe South America, you say South America. I thought if you say, "Oh, they're American," it just means they're American.
Well, you would, yes, you would do that, yes. But America is North America, which includes Canada as well, despite it's not America, it's USA. But that's just me.
Can you
being
just
picky.
please stand up and close the bedroom door? It's really windy today in New Zealand, and where we live, up on our hill underneath the volcano, and all the doors are like banging. So we're just going to close a few doors for you, and then we'll be right back. Closing the bathroom door.
There you go. I think Sonny is going to rattle because he's got his bedroom window open.
All right.
Right, I'm back, and I'm back in the chat.
Yeah. You're back in, comfy?
Yep, and I'm here close to you.
Yeah, so that's a bit weird.
I know.
Right, hang on, you've thrown me now a little bit. You sounded a little bit like that. What's he called? That 1970s DJ that does the top hits and has a line for all the...
Tony Blackburn.
Yeah, that's who you reminded
Good old Tony.
me of. That's who you reminded me of. Right, okay.
This is the golden
right,
hour.
stop winding me up. Let's
Okay.
just listen, just be calm and good.
Yep.
Right. So, yeah, deep breath, Liz.
Okay.
It's not what we're trying to say is, yes, by all means, move to New Zealand. It's lovely. Obviously, we did it for the exact, for those reasons. We wanted a different lifestyle and all the rest of it. You can go back and listen to other podcasts if you want to know why we moved here. But you've got to remember that it's not all a bed of roses, and there are things that you are gonna miss. And yeah.
Yep.
So that's what we're here to talk about. Moving to New Zealand and what you're going to miss when you get here.
It's not so much what we miss, but it's what generally the perception that people, or not perception, but the things that
other people miss.
Tend to miss, which is understandable.
We've done a little bit of a survey because we're very...
Yep.
Well, we phoned my mum anyway.
Liz has used Google.
Yeah, it's just a bit of a survey, just quick Google it. Yep. And we've found out what people miss when they're in New Zealand. And some of these things we can relate to, and some we can't, but we're just going to tell you anyway, and then hopefully it'll give you an idea. So yeah, what you were saying is there's a lot of Americans and a lot of Brits.
And you meet, quite a few Europeans, but not that many, is there? A few people from Holland, a few people from Germany, and a few people from France. But yes, and that's in our area that we live. So, and you tend to find that they do not so much live in the same area, but everyone sticks out like a sore thumb a little bit, don't they? Yeah.
All right, so shall I go first then, Brian?
Yeah.
Or do you want to go first?
No, you go first. You've got a bigger list than me.
No, we've got 3 each, actually.
Oh, right,
we've got 6 to get through. Am I loud enough, or is it just, am I talking too loud? Is that okay?
No, we're about the same level.
Because I feel as if the microphone's dropping down a little bit. I'm just going to, all right, so my first one, you might as well get used to this, is the sun is so hot that you end up looking, if you're not careful, like a little shriveled prune. So I'm talking about English skin here. I don't know about America because I'm English. So all I know is that when I came here, I know it's gone 10 years and obviously you're going to look like a bit of a old wrinkled prune anyway. But honestly, your skin, the sun is so harsh. And when I first moved here, so many people said to me, "Oh, haven't you got lovely English rose skin?" And I just thought, what are you on about? It's just, my skin is, it's just normal, But
just to clarify on that, the reason you're talking about is the ozone layer in New Zealand is quite thin. So the UV intensity, it's not so much hot, but it's just intense.
Yeah. But what I will say in my own language is it's bloody hot and you'll look like an old prune.
Okay.
So that's my first one. Yep. So yeah, you've got to just be prepared that, like sometimes, like when you had people coming over from America.
David's from Florida.
Yeah, David's from Florida.
That's my brother.
Yeah, and he said, "Oh, it can't be that hot over there." And I don't know what it is. It's like it eats your skin.
Yeah, literally 20 minutes in the sun and you're going to burn.
Yeah.
Yeah, and 10 minutes you can feel it prickling, and 20 minutes you've burnt.
Yeah.
Like
and
what equivalent to an hour or so anywhere else in the world.
And I think that's why they're so paranoid over here about slip, slop, slap and the skin cancer and everything like that. But literally, I can just see myself, Brian, like that little witch on, I'm just looking at my hands. I'm looking at my hands and they're just getting more and more and more wrinkly. And that's because I don't put any sunscreen on my hands, I think.
Well, you do but I know what you mean.
Yeah. Well, do you?
I do actually, yes.
Well, what do you think of when you look at my hand, Brian?
That little old witch that you're talking about.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
Well, you mentioned it.
No, but yeah, so anyway, be prepared for the fact that you can't just come here and think, oh yeah, it's nice and warm. You're going to have to layer on the sunscreen if you don't want to look like an old prune. Right, okay, your turn.
Right, okay, so top of my list is warm homes.
Oh, you're going to love this. You are going to love this.
Where do I start? Being a heated engineer. Good grief. What a place to come to. So, warm homes. In New Zealand, because they tend to think that this is a temperate climate, they tend not to install heating systems, like full central heating systems, warm air heating systems, underfloor heating systems. So, you'll go into a house And yeah, for 8 months of the year, it's livable. But then there's the 3 months, 4 months that your house will be an average temperature of the inside and inside temperature, outside temperature, which is normally around about 12 degrees in the winter. So that's 6 degrees warmer than your fridge. That's how warm a New Zealand home will be in the winter without any heating. So they end up having to just plug in electric heaters. And, years ago, the building code was not that great for insulation, double glazing and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, you'll miss that if you come here. You'll rent a house. There'll probably be a heat pump or a wood burner in the living room. That room will be up around 22, 23 degrees. And then you'll go into your bedroom at night and it will be 9 degrees. Wake up in the morning, your bathroom. Yeah, it'll be 9 degrees, which is bloody freezing. Yep. So things are changing. I've spent the last 10 years. I've installed, probably 200 heating systems in and around New Plymouth.
That's your job, isn't it?
That
Just to be clear,
was my job. I had a business, a heating company.
So he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, I've worked in heating for the last 40 years plus. So yeah.
So why do you reckon they don't put heating in their houses?
Because the architects look at it. When the new codes came out, the insulation came out, and they put thicker insulation in the walls and the roofs. I mean, most of their old houses don't have any insulation in the walls.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I'm not new houses with architects. Why didn't people back then, when they built those houses in 1930 or 1950 or whatever?
Because you couldn't get it.
Oh, couldn't you?
Yep.
So how come they've got heating in England in the houses in the 1950s?
Well, they didn't. In England, my dad is a heating engineer as well. And we had heating in our house in 1967. A brand new house, and it was like, oh my goodness, you've got central heating. So in the 60s they started to come out.
Because you were posh and rich.
Well, exactly.
You tried to make out that you were a little Scouser, but you were posh and rich. I've seen your house. A new house
in Lancashire. And yeah, so it was the 60s and 70s that heating became big in the UK. So realistically.
No, but what I'm saying, Bri, is why, okay then, so why when they built a house in you come over here, it's the 1970s, you're building a house in the 1970s, why don't you put heating in it?
But they did, they put a wood burner in, and that was it, electric blanket.
Why don't New Zealand people feel the cold?
Well, I suppose they do, but a lot of them go on their overseas exploring, OE as they call it over here, and go and live in a house in England with full central heating, or in Canada in the middle of winter, and then come back and think, I'm not growing up in a house that's freezing cold anymore, or I'm not going to be that person. I build a house, I want to put some heating in. So the people with a bit more money were putting heating in, but they just weren't very good at it.
Yeah, I don't know. Actually, do you know what? I don't know why I just said that, because when me and you first met, and I was like 17, and I was living in a 1930s semi-detached house in England with my mum and stuff, and we didn't have any heating. No. We had a gas fire in the front room. Bedrooms were bloody freezing. Bathroom, a towel rail, that was it. Yep. And the reason we didn't have any heating because we couldn't afford it. Yep. So that's probably, is that the reason, do you think?
It was. I ended up putting the heating system in for your mum.
Okay, so let's not be all doom and gloom, because if these poor people are coming from America, freezing cold, they're used to nice warm homes, which obviously they are used to, and they're coming here and they're thinking, oh no, how much is it going to cost them for a heating system, Bri?
Well, a heating system, depending on your house. If you've got an older villa, which hopefully you have, is a lot easier to do because you can get under the house and get all the pipes in. If you've got to start drilling holes down through walls, it becomes a bit expensive and it's very tricky to do. You have to put cameras down and drill down through all the noggins, as they're called, and then pull pipes down through that way.
But how much? Just give me a ballpark
starting price around about 12,000 New Zealand dollars up to $30,000.
Right, I'm looking on my Exicom thing.
Average would be about
20,000.
About 18,000 would be about a normal price.
18,000.
That would be radiators,
and that would just be to put heating in your house.
And a gas boiler,
and a gas boiler. Nice person come and fit it.
A combi boiler, me come and fit it for you.
Right, so you're looking at $11,000 American dollars, $11,000. So maybe just think about, and how many British pound? Hang on.
It'd be about £8,000.
Yeah, £9,000. Yeah. So if you're thinking of coming over and that's one of your things, and people are saying, oh, it's so cold, Brian can put a nice heating system in for you.
Yeah, but there's lots of new technologies, heat pumps and things nowadays that you can do it with. But realistically, you need to be doing it when you're building the house.
Yeah. But not everyone's going to buy a new build, are they? So
No.
So, yeah, but just be prepared for that, because it is like, even, we just stayed in a lovely Airbnb. Me and Tess just went away, and it was beautiful, gorgeous, but it was a 1930s house, and they're still running on electric heaters in the bedrooms. And you just think, God, it's a bit dated, it's a bit old fashioned,
it's
isn't
just
it?
old worldy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep.
And the bathroom was so cold. It had those lights around the bathroom, like those that you get in like dressing rooms that like in theatres.
Little round bulbs.
Yeah, little round bulbs. And I was putting those on. I was literally hugging the bulbs.
Yeah, but Tessa
trying to
found
make
out
it
how the
warm.
heater works. You didn't figure it out.
No,
There was
she
a
said-
little 1 or 2 bar electric heater. You know, those
Yeah.
little radiant red things that you...
Yeah.
And a lot of them have heat lamps in there, don't they, as well?
Yeah.
Those heat lamps in the middle of the room with a fan combined thing. So,
They're hard as Kiwis, though, aren't they? They just say,
Yep.
"Oh, just put another jumper
yeah,
on."
but when you see them in the morning, you can see they've got almost like a crinkled face that they're like,
It's too much sun.
"Jeez, it's
Brian."
cold." And it's like, really? Well, it's like I always say to them, the big selling point for them was like, would you buy a car without a heater? Well, you wouldn't, would you?
It's true, that actually,
Yeah.
isn't it? It's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Good man.
There you go.
Yeah, good
What a
man.
salesman. Optional extra heater. Just wouldn't be.
Right. Moving on. So we've done warm homes. You're going to be freezing. You're going to have wrinkly or horrible or wrinkly skin. And the next thing I want to talk about, Americans, honestly, you are going to hate this. Bloody customer service in New Zealand. What's that like? Hey?
Well, it's there, but it's just not there. There's lovely people.
No,
They're
it's not there. No, hang on.
Take something back.
They are lovely people, yes. I'm not saying that Kiwis aren't lovely people. That's not what I'm questioning. Customer service is non-existent in this country. Isn't it, Bri?
It is, because it's all going well until you take something back, and then it's just, my goodness.
Yeah.
They're not going to give you their hard-earned money back.
No.
Yeah, because the supplier isn't the manufacturer. It's like probably a third person who's imported it into New Zealand. So that side of it is a little bit tricky.
Do you know, when we lived in England, I used to be so cocky. I was so brave. I didn't care. I would take anything back.
You could take anything back to Marks and Spencer's.
Yeah, you can take that back 3 years later.
Old
if
pair of knickers.
it's got like a little pull in it.
Yeah.
And they don't say, they won't say no because they don't want to lose your business.
Yeah.
But here it's almost like, well, you've got nowhere else to go. So what are you going to do about it?
My Auntie Wendy took a pair of an old nightie of Joanne and Lisa's 6 years later and got it replaced in good old Marks and Spencer's. Well done.
The first time I noticed it was when we came here, and maybe it's getting a bit better. I don't know. No, it's not. Why am I even saying that? Because the other day I took something back to, I'm not going to name and shame them, but a department store in town, and they were like, they just would not give me my money back. Yeah. They said, no, you're going to have a credit note. It's like, I don't want anything else from the shop. No, we're not doing it. And do you know what happened in the end? I took mum in. Oh, God. And I got that money back.
Well, it's like they've got very strict consumer laws here, and you're really, really well protected. If you give a guarantee on something, and this is just, I know you're going back to heating, but there was a cylinder company that made, electric hot water cylinders, 25-year guarantee, but it was only on specific things. And with the New Zealand law, if it's a 25-year guarantee, it's got to be for everything. It can't be for one thing.
What does that mean? What do you mean? So you can take it back after 25 years?
25 years, and if it's broken, then...
So could I have kicked off with mine?
Well, no, I'm just saying that if you give a guarantee, it has to be for the whole thing.
Right.
It can't just be for, like, the battery or this or that or whatever it is,
The other day, and I don't know if this would be the same, I don't know, you tell me, Brian bought me this bottle of perfume, right? And literally, you bought it me for Valentine's Day. So it was 14th of February. You bought it me on the 14th of February. I knew when you'd bought it me, Brian, that I didn't like that perfume, right? 15th of February, I take it back to the shop where you'd bought it, incidentally, which you'd spent a fortune in there at Christmas on all my Lancome stuff and all that beauty stuff.
Yep.
The woman
For the wrinkly skin.
Yeah, for my wrinkly skin. And the woman knows us. And, well, she knows you, obviously, because she just thinks, serious again, look, with his wallet out.
There's the heated idiot.
When will he learn that skin isn't going to go back to that youthful tightness? So 15th of February, Bri, I took that perfume back. It's in cellophane.
Yep.
It's in a box. I haven't even opened it. Listen up, all you people who love New Zealand and dream of moving here or even are planning to move here. 11 years ago, when we decided to emigrate to New Zealand, we'd put our papers in and everything, and then honestly, I spent months just scouring whatever I could and devouring any information on New Zealand that I could find. I was reading all the books, I was going on any websites I could find, and I was even listening to Kiwi radio just so we could get a feel of what it was like over here. And I vowed when we got over here, I'd make something for someone that just showed them what real life was really like in New Zealand. And that's what I've done for you. You're going to absolutely love this. I've created a free 5-day video guide all about moving to and living in New Zealand. Now, this guide is not your tourist guide, pretty picture-y hobbits things about New Zealand. This is nitty-gritty, what it's like to live in New Zealand, because do you know what? It's too far away. You can't come and see it for yourself. It's, you're taking a big risk. Maybe you've only been here once or twice. You want to know what it's like to live in New Zealand. And this video series is going to show you that. And best of all, it is absolutely free. Okay, you're going to love it. This is where you have to go. You can go to www.itsadrama.com/ILoveNZ. I'm going to say that again. It's www.itsadrama, so itsadrama.com/ILove, and then the 2 letters NZ. Go over there, put your email in, and I will send you 5 days of free, real life, what it's like to live in New Zealand. And I just know I'm so excited about it. You are going to love it. Let me know what you think. Okay. It's in cellophane.
Yep.
It's in a box. I haven't even opened it.
Yep. And it was on your card account.
Yeah.
As in,
oh,
lights are flashing.
Oh, the lights just went out. Why is it doing that?
I don't know. Probably the transformer. Probably the mice eating them.
And she said, hang on, and she said no. She said no.
It's going to be noisy when you do that.
No, I haven't. No, I've just lifted it up a little bit. And she said, no, we can't do it. And she wouldn't do it. And I just said, look, can I just have my money back? Because there wasn't any perfume in there that I wanted. And she said, no, we're going to give you a credit note. And I'm sure there must be like, sure. And do you know what she said? She said, no, she said, how do we know you haven't had that bottle of perfume sitting on your dashboard in your car in the sun? And I said, well, I haven't. It's been literally my husband gave it me. And and she wouldn't. Now, I'm sure that's not normal. I'm sure it isn't. But I was too scared to argue with her because she was really scary. So I just said, oh, okay, then I'll just have a credit note. And then, I went and bought all that sunscreen stuff. But and I noticed it the first time when I phoned the bank once and I said, oh, well, if this is if this is a service I'm going to receive, I said, I'm just going to leave and go to another bank. And she just went, oh, well, we'd be really sorry to see you go, but if that's what you want to do, that's your choice. And I'm like, hang on, you're supposed to beg me to stay with you. It's just like...
There's no, like, when you want to change mobile phone company or something, you normally get put through to retentions. And here it's just that, oh, well, sorry to see you go.
I know.
It's not like they're not trying.
Care.
Yeah, because it's just like, it's too hard a marketplace because there's only 4.5 million people. And it's just, there's not the competition, is there?
No.
When you've got 65 million or 200 odd million in your country, there's a lot of competition for business. But here it's just like, oh, well, this is all you've got.
Yeah. And I loved it when we went to America. And I loved it because, do you remember we went in that, I don't know what it was called, that big massive store that we bought all that stuff for the kids for, and I took a load of
Target,
stuff.
I think it was.
Target, I think it was. And it was brilliant because I took some stuff back and they were like, oh, sure, that's no problem. Have a nice day. And I was like, God, really?
It was a breath of fresh air to a degree, wasn't it? Yeah.
And listening to Mark on the phone complaining about the flights, he's American, Brian's cousin. I don't want to keep harping on about this, but this is like a personal thing with me. And I listened to him on the flight.
Yeah. And he was talking to his phone company as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they were just brilliant with him, weren't they? They were like, sir, we're going to sort this out for you. And I can't do an American accent, but, they were just, Yeah, they were just... Anyway, so no, you won't be getting that when you come here. You'll be freezing cold, wrinkly skin, and some old bag on the other end of the phone saying she doesn't care
Sorry.
if you leave the bank.
Have you got your receipt?
Right, okay, then go on.
Oh, I'm eating cake again.
I haven't even tried my cake yet.
Tray cake. Cheap flight home.
Yeah.
All right, cheap flights home. I think the one thing that drives you insane is, I mean, it's going to be different now after COVID and everything like that. Prices are going to be going up and up and up. They won't be coming down at first. But if you just want, and I think we've talked about this once before, is to fly from Auckland to London is more expensive than flying from London to Auckland.
Yeah, that's a rip-off.
And it's crazy. And it's the same flight. And you go there and back, or whatever it is. And I can't remember how much it is. I think it's $3,500 if you don't book in advance to fly back to the UK and back to New Zealand again. And if you do it the other way round, it works out around about $2,000.
Yeah.
So
what's that all about?
What's all that about?
I don't know. Do you think it's because, again, they haven't got the...
But it's the same company. I can use Air New Zealand.
I know.
And fly London to Auckland and then return flight.
We should have done a little
We should have
case
just
study,
got
shouldn't we,
some
Brian?
prices on that. Yeah,
Yeah, we should. We
and
might
that
come
side
back
of
and
it
talk about that.
Drives you insane. It's like, why? Just because you live here in New Zealand, why is it more expensive to do the same flight?
Yeah. Sticking up for New Zealand, mind you, if you go to, like, Grab a Seat, we've got
Yep.
this thing called Grab a Seat on Air New Zealand, and you can fly from, like, New Plymouth to Auckland, which is how many miles is that by? 500 kilometres or something?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah. And you can fly
If you
there.
drive.
And
Yeah.
you can fly there. If you get a cheap flight, like book in advance, you can get it for $19 New Zealand dollars,
Yep.
which is probably like $10 US dollars. So it's not that you can't fly internally cheaply. It's, you can fly all around the country if you're looking for deals. It's
the
brilliant.
grabber seats are brilliant.
Yeah.
That trip is a 300-mile trip.
Yeah.
If you were driving, so yeah, it's about 35 minutes in a plane.
Yeah.
So to get a seat, and you can, like you say, you can get them for as cheap as $29 sometimes.
You can, yeah.
But normally they're around
$19
they're normally around
sometimes,
about $90, aren't they? Normal flight would cost you probably $180 to do that flight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think what you're saying is, like, for instance, when we moved to New Zealand 10 years ago or 11 years ago, whatever it is now, but when we moved, we were so naive, and we're like, oh yeah, we're going to come back every other year. What we'll do is we might have the winters in New Zealand, in the winters in summer and whatever it is, we'll come back in the winter. And why did we think we could do that? And then you get over here and you look at the cost of flights and it's like, shit, it's going to cost.
Yeah, because coming the other way, it was always cheap, and you could get one for, £500 return,
Yeah.
which, would be $1,000. And then
For us to fly back to the UK, for four of us to fly back to the UK, you're looking at what? $8,000-$10,000
at least. Like I
Yeah.
say, normally it's
New Zealand
a
dollars,
normal
that
flight
is.
was about $3,500 New Zealand dollars, but you can book it in advance. You can get it for around about $2,500. So it's $10,000 for all of us to fly there and back.
So I think when you're from the UK, and I know Americans as well do this, you're all over the country flying here and there. I mean, Bry's brother's always talking about, I'm flying up to there and I'm using my points and, cheap flights. And the same with the UK. You can just fly over to Spain and Paris and, Greece for $199 or whatever it is. And you're not going to get that here.
No.
You can't.
Flying
you can't-
internally is super cheap.
Yeah.
But as soon as you go, but then again, even when we were flying, when we were going around the world, we had to book so many flights and stuff like that. And it starts off when you're looking at, that's going to be really noisy on that.
I haven't. I haven't moved it.
And you see Ryanair and stuff like that, and it starts off very cheap, but as soon as you then want to put your bag, and in theory, who can go to Italy and back for a weekend without taking an extra bag, and then the price goes up and up and up. So it's not super cheap in Europe. I don't think it is anyway. Not for four of you. It is if it's just a single person.
Yeah,
going.
but I just think, I don't know. I just think here, please don't be disillusioned like we were and think, unless you're a millionaire, oh yeah, we're going to go back every year and see our family, because unless you've got lots of money, you sort of get here and you start earning and you look at the cost of flights and it's like, wow, that is a lot of money to go back.
Because it's ×4 all the time, isn't it?
Yeah, but I
know, but most people who are coming over here normally will have kids, I would imagine.
All right, so anyway, so here you are, you're going to be freezing cold, you've got wrinkly skin.
No money for flights.
You've got no money for flights. The old bag on the phone saying you can't bring your perfume back. And don't think about, because you won't be able to go home because you can't.
Once you're here, you have to stay here.
You see, this is a big ploy. Me and Bri just don't want you to come because we just like it here, just us. So we're trying to put you off. Yeah. All right, whose turn is it?
Your turn.
Oh, okay. So what we've talked about the warm homes, talked about the family. Oh, did we say about the family? That's your next one, isn't it? We've talked about customer service. What? Oh, okay. Grocery shopping.
Mine says groceries.
Sorry, Bri.
So I think yours.
Am I family?
I'll do family because you do groceries. I'll do family.
All right. Yeah. Okay. So I don't really agree with this one. I really don't agree with it. Right. But for some reason, and I keep going and doing my homework, and I've done a whole post on this. Cost of living in New Zealand.
And a vlog as well.
I've done a vlog. I've done a podcast about it because I don't really believe it, because I've been all around the world, and everywhere I go, all I'm interested in is how much food costs. And so whenever I'm in a supermarket, wherever it is in the world, I'm always comparing how much things would cost back in New Zealand. And hand on heart, it's not that much more expensive, right? But for some reason, we've asked lots of people, and people will always say to you, oh, the cost to live, the food's expensive. Now, because I'm here doing this podcast and I've got to honour their opinions, I'm going to say, okay, so some people think that the food's more expensive, right? Anyway, just to prove my point, because I'm a little...
Did you do a little bit of Googling?
Yes, I did do a bit of Googling, actually. Right, okay, so if you went to Walmart in America and got 900 grams of frozen organic blueberries...
Which is... 24 ounces, is it?
No, never mind the ounces.
Right.
This is grams now. I'm not doing American ounces.
Oh, right.
This is grams, right? 900...
Actually, English ounces.
Oh, is it? What?
Imperial.
What does that mean? What do you mean?
It's English.
No, this is grams.
I know.
That's French.
Okay. You said American ounces.
Right, no, anyway, shush.
Okay.
Shush. Right, 900 grams of frozen organic blueberries in America from Walmart will cost you 13 New Zealand dollars. I did the conversion.
Okay.
It's $8.47, 13 New Zealand dollars, give or take, 20 cents, right? In the New Zealand countdown, same thing, organic, blueberry, frozen, grams, ounces, whatever you want to call them. 450 grams, because we don't do a big bag. So I'm going to go 450 grams. I was going to say something then, I'm not going to say it. 450 grams times 2 is going to cost you 15 New Zealand dollars, right? So each, they're $7.50 New Zealand, $4.80 US dollars. You with me? Mm-hmm. So all you have to do is buy 2, and it's going to cost you $15, as opposed to buying one big bag in America that's going to cost you 13 New Zealand dollars. So you're talking, yes, 2 New Zealand dollars cheaper. What's that? I don't know, a dollar cheaper?
Yep.
And obviously ours are going to be better because, because we are New Zealand and everything's better in New Zealand. So, so Bri, it's not that bad. Where are they getting this? Oh, it's just... Oh my God, it's so expensive in that country. I don't know where they're getting it from.
I never understand that. I think because when you go to the likes of Tesco's and stuff and they've got some specials on, then, all right, of course it's cheaper. But everywhere has specials. Buy one, get one free, all those things. And it depends if you want to, it depends what you're buying again at the end of the day, isn't it? If you want to buy ready-made meals, then they probably will be cheaper. I
think you just hit the nail on the head. And I think that's what the thing is, because, sorry, I keep pointing my pen at you. Yeah. I think you're right. Right. Okay. Listen, I think that you're right because, well, not right, but, I think you've got a point there, Brian.
I heard the right first.
I think you've got a good point, Brian.
Yes.
Not entirely right, but what it is they've got the bigger market. Yep. They can offer tons more specials. They can offer tons more brands.
Do you know what it is? Bog off.
Bog off. Yeah.
Buy one, get one free.
Yeah. And I think that's what it is. I think that's where people get confused, because I noticed when I was in England, you're going around, and that Lidl's is flipping brilliant in England, isn't it?
Yeah, Lidl's is great. And the other one, what's the one that Martha works at?
Yeah, Aldi. Yeah, that's a brilliant supermarket. And I saw goat's cheese there for like $1. And over here, but you can't get goat's cheese for under $8. Sorry, goat's cheese over there is £1, which is like $2.
Yeah.
Or $2.
Yeah,
and
but that's specialist stuff from where you are. Imagine buying New Zealand green lip mussels like we used to in Waitrose.
Yeah.
You know,
That's
it was
a good
just
point.
like, ooh,
Yeah.
you can go to Pack and Save and you can get a kilo for $4.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just
£2.
like, come on.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. Some things are so cheap here, and some things are a little bit more expensive if you want that European style food. But you know, you can buy New Zealand cheese, which is just as tasty as the French cheese. Like just an equivalent.
Not quite. Don't get carried away.
It's
No, Brian. No.
Well, all right.
No.
Chevre.
Don't be silly.
It's not quite the same.
Nice bit of tasty.
Yeah. But torta dolciolata.
Nice bit of tasty cheddar.
Yeah.
Right. No. So I think
Yeah, but if you're comparing it to the UK, because you can't compare it to the point I'm going to make now to the USA, the fact that as soon as you drive out that supermarket and you go and fill your car up with fuel, that's where New Zealand blows
Oh, but hang on.
the UK out the
hang
water.
on.
No, it
But
does.
I know it does, but we're not
Yep.
talking about the price of petrol.
Yeah, but it's
all
a cost of living.
politics.
It's a cost of living, isn't it? You know, it's less
Oil
than
and gas
half
in
the
Dubai.
price. Yeah, but it's half the price
I
to
know
fill
it
your
is,
car
but
up.
we're talking about the food. But that's what people are saying is like, oh my God, it's so expensive to grocery shop. No, it isn't.
Yeah.
It isn't. You know,
It's
you
not,
just,
no.
no.
And,
And
we know that because we've been around the world.
yeah.
Yeah. So,
And that's exactly
yeah.
it.
You know how much it costs you to go out and just go and get one meal in a shop because you haven't got everything else in for
Yeah.
it. So you've got to go and buy everything.
Yeah.
And there's nothing in it.
We spend right. So we've got a family of 4, and I've covered this before, but it does bug me a bit. But we've got a family of 4, 2 teenagers, you know, Sonny and Tessa, and me and you, and we like our food, and we eat a lot of food. We're not like little.
But we
skinny
make all
ribs.
our own food. We don't do ready meals, do we? Like
No,
Marks
we
and
do-
Spencer's ready meals.
No, we don't. We make all our food,
Yeah.
which, you know, a lot of people do that, don't they?
Yeah, they do. But
And we drink wine, and like I say, we eat. We're not vegetarian, so we're paying money on meat and all the rest of it. And our shopping bill comes to about, I'm going to say, like by the time you go in and out, you know, all the bits and bobs and down and getting a bit of fish for the weekend and all the rest of it, 400 New Zealand dollars a week.
yeah,
I'm just gonna
between
have a
400
look
and
what it is.
500, doesn't it? Depending what week it is.
Well, hang on. I'm just having a look what $400 is. So $400. No, well, should we say $450?
Yeah,
I don't think we
ever.
ever spend. No, we don't. No, we don't spend $500. Never.
All right.
We used to
Depends how much wine
when
you
we
get.
lived it up a little bit, but now we're curbing our alcohol problem. We've brought it down to 400. No, Bryce. So that's $250 a week
Yep.
on shopping, as in grocery shopping.
$250, and that's
$250
round about
dollars,
210,
£200,
£200.
and 400 New Zealand dollars.
Yep.
And even if you said, yeah, okay, maybe if you're going to have, you know, something special like, I don't know, some scallops or something that are gonna, you know, sometimes at the weekend you think, oh, let's just have something a bit nicer.
Yep.
But we eat really, really well, don't we? We're not on beans on toast every night.
No, we're not. We good food, and we drink wine as well. So not masses of it, but we drink enough. And if you look at it, what you can see around the world is New Zealand wine. If you do look at the New Zealand wine section, Oyster Bay is normally available pretty well everywhere, isn't it? So it's a lovely Sauvignon Blanc. They make some good reds as well, but you don't really see them as much. That's about $15 here for a bottle of that, isn't it? Which would be that would be about 10
$10
US dollars, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So you'd struggle to find that in New Zealand, in America for that.
Yeah.
And in the UK, you'd be looking at spending probably £10.
Do you know what I think people get confused with as well? I'm just talking about England here. Is when you go to a supermarket in England and how are we doing for time? Are we okay?
We're doing okay.
When you go to Brian, what are you looking
36
at?
minutes. We're up to.
We're going quite over then.
Yeah, we are.
What do you keep looking at?
I'm looking at my level and your level.
Oh, is it okay?
I'm trying to be the soundman as well. Yeah.
Brian, it's fine. Yeah, so if you go to England and you go and get a bunch of shopping, it always comes to about £40. Doesn't matter even if you just go in there for a pack of biscuits.
For one meal. So
Yeah.
you times that by 7.
Yeah, you never come out of there with less than £35, £40. And then, and you tend to think because it's pound, oh, it's only £40, oh, it's only 30 quid. But double that and $70 is...
Yeah, well, we went out tonight to get Sonny's meal. Well, we ended up with, 3 chickens, because he wants, was it Nando-style chicken for his...
Yeah, we're cooking for 8 people tonight, aren't we?
So we got 3 chickens, which we'll throw on the barbecue, 2 bottles of wine, just the other stuff like for coleslaw and all those sort of things, nibbles and crisps and chippies, as they call them here.
Yeah.
And we would have spent around about $140. And that's because we were just getting stuff for a party. So what's that? Less than $100 US.
And we got 2 bottles
for
of
8
wine.
people. Yeah, so say 2 bottles of wine, 2 bottles of Toy, which is a nice wine from the South Island. No, Hawke's Bay actually, that one. Yeah.
So anyway, people do say that the groceries, and I'm sure if you went down it with a fine-tooth comb and they could find the odd dollar here and there, but Kiwis tend to eat what's in season. You know, you buy from, I always buy from the butcher, I always buy from the fruit and veg shop. Hand on heart, I have never, ever thought the food is more expensive here.
Yeah, no, because you can't buy liquor from the supermarkets, you've got to go to a liquor store, which is a little bit like the US and certain states. And Canada as well. That inflates the price a little bit because you don't have that competition from
Booze
the
is
supermarkets.
expensive.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Liquor, as in,
Liquor.
Yeah, that's what they call it. It's the liquor store. You have to go to a liquor store, don't you? So that's to buy whiskey or
that's
Scotch.
Definitely expensive.
It's a little bit more expensive.
Thank goodness we don't drink much liquor.
No, but you can get the New Zealand equivalents again, and so a bottle of gin would be $38. So what would that be in?
I don't know. Either that or just drink some terps and just,
Yeah, Beth's goes down well.
Right, moving on, Brian. Come on. Don't want
Right, that's groceries and that's family. We're talking about family. That was
right.
One
Shall we
one.
just leave the last one then? Go on, then talk about your last one.
Last one, because we're getting 40 minutes. It's going to be a long podcast. Because of the time, and obviously everything. Most people that are from here or move to here, yes, admittedly, we get quite a few South Africans, and there's a few Aussies here as well. But the majority,
There's no Aussies. I've never met one Aussie.
Well, what about Brian Vickery?
Yeah, but he's lived here all his life.
But he's an Aussie. Yeah.
Go on then.
So anyway, Brian, you're the only Aussie we've ever met in New Zealand.
I've never met an Australian.
No, that's Brian with a Y. Anyway, so family. 2 things is you've got the 11, 12 and 13 hour to the UK, 18 hours 18 hours around about that for the USA, depending on where you live. My phone's ringing away.
Can you just spit it out? What are you trying to say?
It's very hard to keep in touch with your family.
Right, there
and
you
you're going
go.
to miss them.
There you go.
Sorry, I'm having a blonde moment because my phone's ringing and it's probably Tessa. No, it's John next door.
Right, okay. Let me just pour some coffee before we go.
So that side of it is like...
It's crap, isn't it?
It's
really rubbish because, it is rubbish because you can't just text them in the middle of the day and just say, "Hiya, what are you up to?"
Yeah,
I really miss that.
It's that spontaneous,
I know.
being able to think, "Oh, I'll just give him a call now." And you look at your watch, you think, "Oh shit, no, it's 3 in the morning."
I know.
So that side of it is,
it's so hard.
And plus, as well, it's our winter, it's their summer, and that's what I was trying to get to originally. And it's so and we've talked about that once before. I think in the podcast is Christmas. That's so hard to get used to. With the family there, and you're going down the beach and they're all wrapped up around the Christmas tree in the rain.
Yeah, but Christmas is much better here anyway.
It is actually, because the summers afterwards, and that's what's so good about it.
I think when you emigrate to New Zealand, you underestimate how much you're going to miss your family. I think, don't you, Bri? And
me personally, I yes. The thing is your mum came over, so I don't think you'd have been able to do it if you'd not done that.
No.
And Ellen's here and Pete's here, so
no. But I just miss Linda, your sister.
Yep.
Me and her used to just text all the time throughout the day.
Yep.
And my brother, me and Jamie, we would always just flick each other a text constantly, and you just know they're there. Like even if you don't see them all the time, you just know that you've got that connection, that you're just...
Exactly, yeah.
And you can't, because if you send them a text in the middle of the day and their phone is by the bed, they're just going to get so annoyed that you're sending them a text. And
and they end up turning the phone off or, muting whatever it is, this, that and the other. No, it is. Family is a big thing that you do miss. I can't even get my phone on silent because I can't think straight. If you hear my phone tinkling away, next time I will just put it on flight mode. Yeah, I mean, when you said Linda, I mean, we've never said that before, but Linda and Doug, when we went over to stay with them, they put us up for 2 months almost, didn't they? And a big shout out to them, thanks so much. Because we've said to Mark and MJ, thanks, and David.
Yeah.
But actually, we stayed the most with Linda and Doug.
Yeah.
And it was just, it was fantastic.
Yeah.
It really was.
Yeah, it was.
But
Thank you.
That's
Thank
the
you,
big,
Lenny.
that's the big thing you do miss is family. Yeah, especially my dad, he's getting old now and he's over there and what have you. And it's Father's Day tomorrow and it's not Father's Day in New Zealand.
I know, see, that's
There's no
weird,
cards,
isn't it?
you can't send them stuff. So you can do stuff online, but it's not quite the same.
And sometimes it just feels like you just haven't, I don't know, unless you're really, really good and really strict about keeping in touch with people, you just sort of like,
You have this small not the weather window. God, it's me and my weather. You have a small window in the mornings and in the evenings, and it's literally, this time of year because it's winter here. We're 13 hours behind, and talking again the UK. So you're thinking any time sort of up to 9 o'clock, and then 10 o'clock's getting 11 o'clock, and it's getting too late. You start to think, they're going to go to bed. And in the evening, it's the other way around. You think you're just settling into your evening. You're about to sit down and have dinner and da-da-da-da. And so it's hard. My sister, she's got, they've got family, and obviously my brother-in-law's mum and dad still live in England. And I don't know if they still do this, but I know that every day, without fail, they would FaceTime, like as in the grandma and granddad, Anne and John would FaceTime my sister Skype
and
or
the
whatever
kids,
it was,
and they'd just set it up and they'd watch them getting ready for school and they'd watch them having their breakfast, and and I just think I think you've got to be that's what you've got to do.
Some people it's easy to. Some people like doing the FaceTime thing.
I hate FaceTime,
and but you hate it.
I know, I can't stand it.
And it's just
I don't want anyone to see my wrinkly skin.
No, that's the thing, isn't it? And blueberries all over the place.
Throwing blueberries at Brian naked. Here's Brian, look.
It's amazing that blueberry juice on your wrinkly skin.
Right, okay, come on,
That's
because you're
enough of
getting silly now.
I know.
So yes, just be prepared for. You've just got to. You've got to see that as a reality. Don't think, we'll just. You're going to miss it. You do. You miss them like mad.
It's a big tug.
It is a big tug. Yeah. It is, and it gets. I don't want to say it gets easier. Like you forget about it and whatever.
But you tend to communicate less and less, unless you're on Facebook. But I don't do Facebook. You do, so you kind of know what's going on a little bit more. But it's nicer to actually you don't do the Facebook things, and when you talk to them, it's not like I saw that on Facebook.
That's just rubbish anyway, isn't it?
But that's what I'm saying. It's actually better just to get the
we just want to know the nitty gritty.
What's going wrong?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, exactly.
Yeah.
How much are blueberries?
How much are those frozen blueberries at the moment? Jeez. They've gone up to $12.50 here.
All right. Okay, then. So we've covered our 6 things.
Yep.
So just to go over them again. So moving to New Zealand, the things you're going to miss are staying in touch with your family. You're going to be freezing cold because all the houses are freezing. Yep. Grocery, you're never going to have any money.
Yep. There's loads of good wine over here, though.
Yeah, and customer service is rubbish, and you're going to look wrinkly, and also you're never going to be able to go home because you can't afford the flights.
Yep.
Apart from that,
it's just paradise.
What else did the Romans do for us?
As John Jarrett once said, it's God's country.
Yeah. Listen, New Zealand, we don't need to tell you about how much we love this country, because otherwise we wouldn't still be here. But you've got to be realistic. Don't make that move and think, it's going to be paradise, it's going to be lovely, there's milk and honey and little men running around the hills, and there's some things that you've just got to know about when you move to New Zealand. And hopefully this podcast has put you in the picture.
And one thing that we haven't mentioned, which I normally always do when it's just one little tiny thing, is the Premier League.
Oh God.
It's kind of hard. Like Saturday afternoon, no football. So, but hey, Liverpool are playing Everton tomorrow because Liverpool's my team. And it's on at 6 o'clock in the morning on a Monday morning. So that's just to put it into context. Context.
Yeah.
So, but the great thing here, which is super cheap, is Spark Sports. It costs you $19 a month, and you can watch all the Premier League. Every game is available. And what's the NFL? You can watch the NFL. You can watch the basketball. There's so many things for $20. That's like what's that? $12 a month. That's like if you were buying that through Sky Sports or a package for sports, it would be costing you $80 a month. So super cheap.
So are you saying that you miss the
I miss the
live games?
The time scale, but I watch so many live games because you make the time for it.
Yeah.
But you can get up in the morning and you can just watch it. So if you don't turn your phone on, you can watch it live and you don't know the score. So it's like watching it live sometimes. Yeah.
You can take the boy out of Liverpool, but you can never take...
Can't take the Scouser out,
You can't take the Scouser out of Brian, no way. And you're going to be there at 5 o'clock in the morning watching
I'm going to be getting up in the morning.
Are your eyes filling up? Are you going to cry?
I'm going to start crying. Because we might just win the Premier League for the first time.
Is this the first game they've had since lockdown?
Yes.
Is it?
Yeah. So it's been nearly 3 months without football. But the great thing is it's going to go on till the 24th of August. It's normally finished now.
So you're going to have...
So it's going to be Premier League around my birthday.
Wow. Okay, all right.
Anyway.
So we haven't got Sonny here to take us out, but what he usually says...
50-minute podcast.
Right. Well, I'm sorry this went on and on. I'm sorry, but this has to be covered because this is important, isn't it? And I still haven't eaten all my cake. But if you liked this podcast, please comment and share with your friends and give us a like on, or I don't know what you do on iTunes.
Watching it on Stitcher, iTunes, even YouTube.
Oh, that was it. You give us a rating. That's what he asked you to do. Give us a rating.
There's not many of you out there do that, so please do it.
Yeah, just give us a rating and go onto iTunes, give us a rating and just say what you think of the podcast. And until next time, I'm going to say bye-bye and enjoy chatting to you, Bri.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed that. That 50 minutes has gone like, well, now you better get Sonny's dinner on the go.
Yeah. Okay, I'll speak to you soon.
Hey, take care. Bye.
Thank you so much for joining us this week on the podcast. We have loved having you here.
If you guys could subscribe to us on iTunes and leave us a 5-star review.
Oh yeah, that would be nice.
That would be absolutely amazing. And make sure to share the podcast with your friends.
And if you'd like to hop over to the blog, find one of the little boxes that ask you to drop your email. I will send you a newsletter every week letting you know when we've released our new podcast. That will go straight into your inbox. So it's www.itsadrama.com.
All right, guys, enjoy the rest of your day, and we will see you next week for another podcast.
Look forward to it. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.